Hello, it's Gimbo, your second favorite uncle. I'm coming to you with a fresh portion of the Rings of Power. I almost gave up on watching this after episode 3 because it was a disaster.
The eagle favors Pharazon!
But I got some good rest since then. Maybe today will be a good day. Without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 4 begins with the elves assembling a company to set out for Eregion. Galadriel and Elrond set out to meet Celebrimbor, but they encounter a destroyed bridge. Galadriel then starts having visions.
There's evil in those hills.
We quickly cut to the stranger who is now lost after launching the Harfoots into space.
End of flashback.
See, you found the goat. It wasn't quite what I was searching for.
The stranger then gets the Boba Fett treatment, you know, from the renowned series, The Book of Boba Fett. Next we see the Harfoots again. I can understand why this show is not very well liked and people don't care about it, but I guarantee you that a certain group is watching the Rings of Power very intently. Next up, this guy emerges, and this is an occasion for some tired dialogue.
Who are you exactly?
I'm nobody.
Well, you can't be nobody.
That's what everybody calls me.
Well, if everybody calls you nobody, doesn't anybody call you somebody?
My mum calls me nobody.
Their quirky adventures take the three to a village where very soon mean words are heard.
What were you thinking bringing him here? Nobody's that stupid. Boy, if we put your brains in a vulture, it'll fly backwards.
Next, the stranger emerges from a tree and we're presented with an unexpected character reveal.
Tom Bombadil.
His reveal is sure to provoke strong opinions, but I will let others speak here. One thing for sure, he is weird.
I thought I heard a woman singing.
Woman? What woman?
Is no one else here with you?
You're here? As I think you are you?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
They have a long conversation that helps the viewer understand the lore, but otherwise it's people talking like for a good 80% of this show. Next up, we take a stride with the elves to the spooky forest. Once again, I increase the brightness because it's way too dark. Anytime you see this, it's not the original color grade. This is where the kings were once buried, but other than a very somber atmosphere, nothing much seems to threaten our heroes in this forest, unless... Soon, the elves find the bodies of the messengers that were supposed to deliver a warning to Celebrimbor, and one elf promptly gets poached into a dark hole. Galadriel does the funny lightsaber pose from the acolyte, and a half-decomposed individual emerges from the pit.
What are they? They're white.
Thank you, show, for this quick lore explanation. I can always count on you, show. A fight begins, and we learn that attacks don't really kill the assailants here, but they sure do slow them down, as their sparsely jointed bodies rebuild themselves. This gives the elves plenty of time to think about their next move. However, the elves are very committed to fair combat, and they just stand there and wait until their enemies are ready to attack again. To make matters worse, they have weapons at their disposal. Elrond thinks fast and invades one of the holes. The story takes us to the forest where Theo has been kidnapped by an unknown force. Arondir leads the search and he finds a dismembered body. This soon leads to the villagers contemplating an attack on the forest people.
They're animals.
And I slaughtered them like animals.
The search is set to continue, but Arondir first interrogates Estrid about the wound on her neck. The attempt at hiding her identity
has left me scarred and deformed.
If you haven't seen, this is what happened in the last episode. Theo awakes in a cage high up a tree together with the stinky forest people. A path was created as something destroyed the trees all the way from the camp to the cages. Arondir, Isildur and their prisoner are now on this trail. They struggle through the mud, even though they could literally walk on dry forest floor right next to this trail. This soon becomes a problem for Isildur. Apparently, the show decided that we have some time to waste on this shot, but time is money, so I fixed it. They continue their search and Isildur takes off Estrid's shackles, only to be reminded why she was in them in the first place. At this point, even the forest itself has enough of her shit. Arondir's lineage proves useful, and soon Theo is released from captivity. Meanwhile, Isildur loses his shot with a strong Forest 7.
I can't believe you're here. Look at you.
The helpful map transition takes us on the way to Eregion, where a mostly peaceful army of family-oriented individuals marches to pay a visit to Celebrimbor. The elves are looking at them from a ledge, when suddenly a stray arrow strikes one of them. Other elves promptly render first aid, and it looks like he is going to perish, but Galadriel uses her ring to fix the arrow wound.
Huh?
Confident in her strength, Galadriel confronts the orcs to give the rest time to escape. What follows is extremely wacky combat, featuring using a bow as a close-contact weapon, orcs pre-soaked in gasoline, bullet time, and the fact that nobody figured to hold the horse so she doesn't escape. Good job, show. Apparently we ran out of time, so the episode just ends. Overall, I think this was a much better episode than previously. I'm not in awe or anything, but it was legitimately pleasant to watch. There was a bit of talking, but well balanced with action. If you look a bit closer though, this story may become quite a bit less convincing. But for the standards that were set so far, this is good entertainment. However, this makes me unsure about the next episode. We got a well-deserved break from the dwarves and the queen, whatever her name is, but the inevitable return of that storyline keeps me up at night. If someone were to nuke Numenor so that the whole arc ceases to exist, that would be nice. Either way, I will remain strong and keep watching the Rings of Power so you don't have to. See you next week. Goodbye.